What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lifestyle Athletics YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 mistakes that most beginner sprinter make. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Roxar Kato. I'm a two-time Olympic sprinter for Jamaica, multiple NCAA champion, multiple national champion, and one of my biggest milestones is running my personal best of 48.42 seconds at the age of 36, which I did last year. So we're going to be talking about 6 common mistakes that beginner sprinter makes. These are the things that's making you slower. One of the first mistakes that making most beginner sprinters slower is overstriding or creating too much braking force. And what I mean by this is when you're sprinting, you don't want to be taking too much steps. At the same time, you don't want your foot landing in front of your body. So when we think about backside mechanics or creating braking force, the thing is when you're sprinting at top speed, you don't want your legs landing too much in front of you and you don't want it too much behind you, right? You want it to be landing right under your center of mass. The trick is to not overstride or to not drive your knees up too high, right? You want to just let your foot land on the ground. So what you want to do is drive your knees forward and let your foot land on the ground. And how you practice this is by doing sprint drills. You want to do drills like A skips, B skips. You want to do the bent knee bound and power skips. These type of drills will reinforce ground contact. These type of drills will reinforce your legs landing under your center of mass, right? And you have to practice these things all the time when you're doing your drills. You don't want to just go to the track, or when you're doing your drills or your sprint workouts, you don't want to just go through the motion of sprinting. The best sprinters in the world are always working on their sprint form. One of the best ways to fix this is by implementing wicket drills into your training. You could use wicket drills to help you to put your foot down quicker, shorten up your stride, work on your stride frequency and your rhythm. Because the reason why most athletes overstride is because they're not establishing good stride pattern, good stride frequency, and they're not working on their rhythm. The next thing you could do to stop create braking forces also learn how to run on your midfoot, because a lot of time when you're creating braking force is because you're running on your heels. Second mistake most sprinters make is rushing your acceleration, right? Popping up too early or standing up too quick. That is the second mistake most sprinters make. And if you don't know anything about sprinting fast, if you're able to establish your acceleration, you don't get up to speed quickly. Instead, you're focusing on pushing away from the ground, building up, and then you get at the top speed. So the better you can accelerate, the faster you'll sprint. When we think about acceleration, it's all about using that first 20 to 30 meters to set up your sprint, right? So if you pop right up, then you're no longer accelerating. Actually, you're hitting top speed. So what you want to do is create a lot of horizontal force by driving your knees forward, pushing away from the ground behind you so you could create that horizontal force. What I tell myself or what I tell my athletes is to just imagine a plane taking off, and that is like a good explanation of the type of force that you're trying to create or the angle that you're trying to be in. So you're not trying to, when a plane takes off, it doesn't go right up like this, right? It gradually comes up until it gets to top speed. So that's the same thing you're trying to do when you're in your acceleration. You don't want to pop up. You want to focus on driving forward, pushing away from the ground behind you, so you could create more horizontal force. So when you hit mass velocity, you're able to hit it further at a further distance than just at 20 to 30 meters, right? If that makes sense. One of the easiest ways to fix this is to work on your 3-point start, your falling start, your crouch start. Just work on start series. I'm going to link a video to how to improve your starts here, because the better your start, the better your acceleration will be. The next thing that's making most sprinters slow is running with too much backside mechanics or too much high knees, right? If you focus on having too much backside mechanics, you're not landing with your legs under your body. You're also not pushing from under your body. Your legs are landing behind you. And if you focus on running with too much high knees, then you're not applying force under you, so you won't sprint as fast as you can. When we think about backside mechanics as a sprinter, especially anybody who runs the 1 and the 200, backside mechanics can be when your heel is too much behind you. There is a little bit of backside mechanics in all sprints, but you don't want your heels being too much behind you. Right? When your heels are too much behind you, that means you're not creating proper ground contact. Your force application to the ground is not going to be as effective as it could be. And the same could be said about front side mechanics. If your knees are too much at the front, like sometimes you'll see sprinters who they just look like they're doing high knees when they're sprinting, but they're not really going fast. Right? A sprinter who's going fast is you're getting proper knee drive, they found the optimal position where it's proper knee drive, proper backside mechanics and you're driving yourself forward. That is the big thing when it comes down to sprinting fast. You want to cover ground as much as you can and as fast as you can to get you to your finish line. So pay attention to if you're driving your knees too much up or your heel is too much at the back. Because when your heel is too much at the back, your strides are going to be a little bit slower. They're not going to be as effective because you have too much space at the back, so you can't pull your foot through quicker. And same goes for if your knees at the front. You're going to create braking force because instead of you cycling and driving yourself forward, you're going to be going up more than forward. And the goal is to go forward at all times. A simple way to fix this is by understanding how to do A skips, B skips, and cycling drills, bounding drills. Those are the things that's gonna help you the most. So yeah, shit, we gotta get out of here. Okay, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. As you guys can see, my background changed because we train at the Bill Carter's high school track. There's this one janitor guy that he's just, I don't know, I think he's on an ego trip. Whenever he sees us at the track using the track, he comes out there and he's like, so basically school starts at 8:45, and so the track is free to use from like 6 till like before school starts. So we will get out there at 6 and start training, and then we'll finish up training and we're done by like 7:30. And you know, at the track it takes you a while to like pack the stuff up and get going. So he will come out there and he'll be like, yo, it's a privilege using the track, you know, you guys need to get off the track because students are coming in and you guys are a threat to the students. Meanwhile, all the time he's saying this, at that school, I train athletes who go to that school. There's kids at the track with us, so my track club has a bunch of kids, so he's screaming and saying all of this in front of little kids. But anyways, let's move on. The next mistake most sprinters make that's making them slower is soft ankles and ground contact, not good ground contact, right? If you're trying to sprint fast, your ankles have to be stiff and your ground contact cannot be long. So if you have soft ankles and you're making long ground contact, that means you're not pushing out of the ground quickly, you're not engaging your hips, so you're not going to sprint as fast as you can, right? 85% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. So my goal with this YouTube channel is to inspire you guys to become the best athletes you could be. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go and subscribe now. Share the video with somebody who you think will find this information valuable, and I promise you I will continue to come to you guys with more informative videos. How we fix this is by implementing plyometrics into our training. You want to do things like single leg pogo hops, double leg pogo hops, you want to do broad jumps, you want to do hurdle hops, you want to do step down off single leg to explosive jumps, you want to do lunges on your midfoot, you want to do jump squats from the midfoot. Anything that teaches ankle stiffness is going to help you with ground contact, and it's going to also help you to stiffen up the ankles and understand what it means to have stiff ankles when you're sprinting. The next thing that's making most elite sprinters or making most athletes slower is having wide arms, big arms. My training partner is known for this, for having big wide arms, opening up the arms too much and not being tall from the trunk, not being tall from the shoulders and relaxing the shoulders. Instead, you'll see athletes where they're pulling their shoulders up to their neck, or their arms are going big and wide. Things like that's making you slow. When we think about the arm swings, you need your arms to be swinging back and forth. You don't want your arms going too much across your mid line, right? You know what that does? That means your strides are going to be going across. That means you're working harder than you're supposed to. You're doing more work than you need to sprint the same distance. So if I'm running a 400 meters and I'm not twisting, and you're running a 400 meters and you're twisting and your arms are wide, that last 50 is going to be torture for you. Meanwhile, for me, all I have to do is stay relaxed and just keep pumping my arms back and forth and make it to the finish line. So if you're ever in a race and you see some guys looking like they're slowing down dramatically, and you see a guy in the last 50 looking like he's picking up, he's not really picking up. He's just holding his form better than the other guy. One of the best way to combat this or fix this is to teach arm swings in training. Teach an athlete how to swing their arms. You could strengthen up the upper body by doing things like med ball tosses, med ball slams, stuff like that, just to strengthen up the upper body. And the stronger your upper body, the more easier it is to control it and swing your arms properly. Yeah, so those are going to be the top things that are making you slower. So let's go back over at them again from the top. So the first thing that's making you slower is overstriding or creating braking force. The second mistake is rushing your acceleration or standing up too quickly or popping up. That's a term that's used in track and field. Popping up too quickly or rushing your acceleration. Third thing is too much backside mechanics or too much front side mechanics. You want to find a balance of both. You want your legs landing under your body without compromising too much stride length at the back or too much stride length at the front. The fourth thing is soft ankles. You don't want your ankles to be soft because that creates long ground contact. You want stiff ankles and quick ground contact. The fifth thing here is wide arms and loose trunk. You don't want your body to be too loose. You don't want to be rocking from side to side, and you don't want your arms to be wide. And those are going to be the top things that's going to help you. If you focus on these things and try to improve on these things, you will get faster. And again, if you are a new athlete or a young athlete looking to improve your sprinting, check out the description in this video. This video, I wrote down a bunch of stuff that you could start implementing tomorrow to give you better results. So I'm going to leave a link to a file in here that you could download. Download this file and start implementing these things tomorrow to give you the best result. And if you're interested in structured training program tailored to you as a sprinter, feel free to shoot me an email. Serious inquiries only. I'm not going to be giving away lots of free programs. So until the next video, it's Rockstar Kato here, and I'm out.